Hey guys, welcome back. In this video we'll create a simple toggle button, and toggle button is very easy to create, but through this we'll learn how to create reusable components instead of duplicating the code, and also get callbacks from those components when their state changes using props. So here you can see the toggle button we're gonna create, and now let's just clean it off and start from the beginning. So this is just a plain container. So now we'll go and add a touchable opacity, and using which we'll create the button. So let's just import touchable opacity, and inside our touchable opacity we'll have a text component, and let's just place this button in the center of our container by passing justify content as center and align items as center. So we are missing text components. Let's just import it. Yeah, okay, we got our component. It's placed in the center. Now let's style the button. So we'll make our button to occupy the entire width of our container, and let's provide a margin of 10 and background color as blue. Let's give a torch blue. Looks nice. Okay, so we want to make it to stretch entire width, so we'll give flex equal to 1, and let's define a fixed height for our button. Okay, so the button is stretching in column wise. That's because our container has a flex direction column. So we'll enclose our touchable opacity inside a view, so that later we can reuse this inside any container independent of the container style. So this view will have a flex direction as row. Now the button is stretching widthwise. Now let's style the text component. We'll make the text color white, and let's align the text to center. uh, since it's a child of touchable opacity, we should pass justify content as a center, so that the child element, which is text here, will be placed in the center. Okay, that looks good. So now we'll increase the font size of the text just to make it look good. Let's give font size as 16. Okay, now we have a simple button. Now let's add state to it. So before that, let's start by passing a prop to touchable opacity to get a callback from touchable opacity when it is clicked. So that we can do by passing a function, and this will be underscore on press. So I have not defined this function yet, which I'm going to define it now. And in on press, basically what I do is I'll change the state of the component. So let's store the value in the variable called toggle, and we'll change this value whenever the button is clicked, and all we have to do is take the previous toggle value and take note of it. Now let's declare that state and let the default state be false. And now once the button is clicked, we also want to inform the user about the state, so we'll change the text value. So we'll do that by accessing the toggle from the state, and we'll check for the toggle state, and we'll create a dynamic text based on the toggle state. It's on or off. So if toggle is true, it will be on, or else off. And then we'll pass this text value in the place of hello. So now we have our toggle button, and we see the text value being changed. Now if we change the default value, we'll see the text value as on when the app is loaded. Now we'll change the button background. and also the text color as and when the toggle state changes. So if the toggle is true, we'll make it blue, and if not, the background of the button will be white. Similarly, we'll also change the back color of the text. So once we have these colors, we have to pass these colors to our style components. So we'll remove the hard-coded value to the dynamic colors we're gonna create using the state. So it looks good, the color is changing, the text color is also changing. Now let's add a border to our button so the off state will look better. So it will be same blue, and we'll also add a border width as 2. So let's just check that. Now we have a simple toggle button, so now let's make it a reusable component by creating a new file and moving this code to that new file. So I'll place my code here in my source folder and components folder. So I'll name it as simple toggle button. So let's rename it to simple toggle button here as well. Let's remove unused import, we don't need app registry here. Also let's remove the container. Now it's a standalone toggle button, doesn't need that container. So I'll also remove all the toggle button related code here in my main index.ios.js. Now let's create the toggle button and let's import it from the source folder. Now when we refresh, we should not be seeing any change and it should be working as before. Good. So now we have a simple toggle button, but we don't get to know about the state changes. So what we'll do is very similar to touchable opacity. We'll pass a prop, and since this is our prop, we're gonna name it what we want. So I'll name it as on state change, and I'll pass a function to this prop. And before I define my function, I'll bind it so that the toggle button can call it from its component. Now the toggle button are going to send the state value when it invokes this function, and let it be new state. And to see the changes whenever a state of the toggle button changes, we'll create a text component and we'll change the value of the text whenever we get a callback from our simple toggle button. So to do that, I'll create a simple state called toggle state, and basically this will be stored in our state. And when the new state arrive from the toggle button, I'll just change the state of toggle state. And so for readability, let me change it to toggle text, and the new value will be based on the state which we receive. If the new state is true, then we'll say on, and if it is false, then we'll be off. So this is our text value, and we'll just give a default value. And now when we refresh, we should not be seeing any change. That's because we are not invoking the on state change from simple toggle button whenever its state changes. So to do that, what we'll do is in on press, after setting the state, I'll invoke the prop which I'm going to receive from anywhere for that matter. So instead of directly invoking the prop, what I'll do is I'll check whether the prop has been sent. If the prop exists, then I'm going to call the prop by passing the new state value. That's it. Now let's go and refresh. By default it will be empty. Now whenever the state changes, you can see it's toggling between on and off. So it's as simple as that, guys. I hope you have understood how to create a simple reusable component, and in next video we'll see how we can animate this toggle button. And till next time, have fun coding, and thanks for watching, guys. See ya.